In this video we are looking at path operation decorators, the single line of code that sits above every root function in a FastAPI app. By the end you will know exactly what that line does, which pieces it involves, and when you should reach for each HTTP method versus when you might be going about things the wrong way. Before FastAPI, connecting a URL like /users to a Python function meant registering it in a route table, manually checking whether the incoming request was a GET or a POST, serializing your return value to JSON by hand, and then separately maintaining documentation. Every new endpoint multiplied that boilerplate. FastAPI's path operation decorators collapse all of that into one readable line. Here is a useful way to picture it. Imagine a restaurant menu. Each entry has two pieces of information, the name of the dish, and the section it belongs to: starter, main or dessert. The path in your decorator is the dish name, and the HTTP method is the section. When a customer orders, the waiter matches both pieces to find the right kitchen function. FastAPI does exactly that matching for every incoming HTTP request. A path operation decorator has four named parts working together. First, the app instance, the FastAPI object you created, owns a registry of routes. Second, you chain an HTTP method onto it, like .get or .post, which tells FastAPI which kind of request this route handles. Third, you pass the path string as the first argument. Fourth, the decorated function directly below is called the path operation function, and whatever it returns becomes the JSON body of the HTTP response. Let us walk through this top to bottom. We import FastAPI and create the app instance on line 4. This object holds the root registry. The item class is a Pydantic model describing a request body. Then at app.get of /items, registers a get root. The function list _items returns a plain Python list, which FastAPI converts to JSON automatically. At app.post of /items, handles post requests. FastAPI reads the request body and passes it into an item for us. The put and patch decorators both include a path parameter item_id in curly braces. FastAPI extracts that integer from the URL. Finally, at app.delete handles delete. Notice that every decorator's just one line, and the function name is entirely up to you. FastAPI does not care about it. When your app starts, FastAPI reads every decorator and stores the path, method, and function in an internal route table. Nothing runs yet. When a request arrives, FastAPI matches the URL and method to the right entry, then validates all inputs using the type hints you wrote. Only then does your function execute. The return value is passed through a JSON serializer and sent back as the response body. As a bonus, every route you declare this way automatically appears in the interactive Swagger UI at /docs. Path operation decorators are always the right tool for exposing an endpoint, but the HTTP method you choose matters. Use get strictly for reads that have no side effects, post for creating resources, put for full replacement, patch for partial updates, and delete for removal. Common mistakes include using get for anything that changes data, cramming all routes into one file instead of using API router, and defaulting to post for everything just because it feels easier. Method semantics are not just convention. Proxies, browsers, and clients rely on them. To wrap up, a path operation decorator is the single line that binds a URL path and an HTTP method to a Python function. FastAPI takes care of validation, serialization, and documentation behind the scenes. The most important discipline is choosing the right HTTP method for the job, get for safe reads, post for creation, and so on. Get that right from the start, and your API will be predictable for every client that consumes it.